A twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival against the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. This is Evil Dead Rise, and I'm Jesse Swift. Let's talk scary shit. Welcome to the channel. Whether you are already a real one or you are new here, please, before we get into the review, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and comment down below with your thoughts on either Evil Dead Rise or just the Evil Dead franchise as a whole. Have you watched Ash vs. Evil Dead? The show, it's fantastic. It's probably my favorite thing in the entire franchise, but regardless, let me know down below. All right, let's get into it. Evil Dead Rise is directed and written by Lee Cronin, who was handpicked by executive producers Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell to bring the newest chapter in the Evil Dead franchise to life. Now, this is coming off the back of the Evil Dead reboot back in 2013, marking this to be 10 years since we've had an Evil Dead film in theaters. Now, the response to the last film was a little divisive. It was mostly well received, but for people that are used to a certain aesthetic or tone in the Evil Dead franchise, there's a little bit of tonal shock with the film directed by Fede Alvarez. It had all the gore and the creep factor, but was missing some of the Bruce Campbell charm and fun that we've come to know with Army of Darkness and the Ash vs. Evil Dead series. And this Evil Dead Rise film is very much the same in the way that it is haunting and gothic and creepy and bloody, gory, all that stuff that you look for in an Evil Dead movie, but there is hardly a chuckle to be had, nay, even a titter. But I did have a couple laughs during this film. There was some moments, and it's just when the violence gets so excessive. That's one of the things that I have fun with the Evil Dead franchise. Let's talk about some of the leads in the film. We had Lily Sullivan playing Beth, and her sister, who is unfortunately the victim of possession as seen in the trailers, and that is Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie. And they both did a fantastic job, as well as the supporting cast of kids that they have in here. Sometimes kid actors can be very distracting, and there were moments where the performances weren't as top shelf as maybe you might hope, but it was passable. They all did a really good job, especially anytime they had to do anything creepy related. It was done immaculately. This film is, I think, definitely made for horror fans, and it could also be made for Evil Dead fans with an open mind, as long as you're not expecting what came before. If you enjoyed the 2013 film, I think you're gonna have a really good time with this movie. There's creeps in every corner. I bought snacks and a drink going into this movie. I didn't touch either of them. I was glued the entire film, and I couldn't even think about digesting anything. So if you are a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, or you just like things that are really creepy, I think you'll have fun. I know our audience was having fun with this movie. One of the things I like the most about Evil Dead Rise is it finally takes us out of that cabin in the woods, right? I mean, Army of Darkness did that. They went back to the medieval days, but Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, and a large part of the Evil Dead series takes place in a cabin. The reboot did. Much of the climactic events of the series on TV also did. And now we get to go to like a high-rise apartment, and it gives a really different vibe. And they've talked about possibly making this into a trilogy if it does well, which I hope it does, because despite it missing that charm that the other films did, putting these in different environments, I think, is a lot of fun. And I'd be curious to see, like, give me Evil Dead in a shopping mall. That's the film I want. That could be one of my favorite potential storylines they could go with that. But I really want to know, are you guys going to rush out to see this? What would you like to see from the Evil Dead franchise? Do you miss Bruce Campbell? Of course, we all do. Ash Williams is Evil Dead. But are you willing to take this new interpretation of the series, of the franchise, into consideration? And hopefully you guys all go out to theaters if you're a horror fan. If you're not a horror fan and you are squeamish, you're going to have a rough time with this movie. I'll get that out of the way right now. But anyways, guys, make sure to leave a comment of your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, again, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you so much. Evil Dead Rise was a kick-ass time. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Go check it out. Until next time, keep it real.